What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be hitting up some thrift stores, and I'm also going to do some retail arbitrage, hit up Marshalls and maybe Burlington as well. So if you guys are interested in these type of videos, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so first stop, came across this JVC camcorder, and I sold a ton of camcorders in the past, some from JVC, some are like the Sony Handycams. They usually sell anywhere between like 70 to as high as like 200 bucks if it's complete, and of course it's still working. And as you guys can see, this one has the power supply as well as the battery in the back, and I even saw like an additional charger in the back. This one necessarily wasn't for that JVC. This one clearly said Sony on there, but since this camcorder was 15 bucks, they probably will just, let me get that additional charger as well. Next, I came across this Samsung Smart Things Hub. I've sold this in the past for like 50 bucks, so I'm definitely going to be picking that one up. And it has the power supply, so that's even better. And as you guys know, I sell a ton of these older handsets for like landline phones. People always buy these. For some reason, there's a ton of people that, like having a house phone, or they might need it for their business. And depending on the model, I've sold these for as low as 15 bucks for as high as like 50. So definitely going to be grabbing that one up, especially since it's in the box. Now, next I came across this, I think this said video cassette adapter. Not too sure what this is for, but it's only $1. And after checking the comps, they were selling for like 30. So definitely going to be grabbing that up. I'm sure it had something to do with VHS tapes. This was a really good find, but just the price tag was just a little too much. They were individually priced $4.99 a piece, but these were selling for like 25 to like 40 bucks on eBay. So if I got that for a better price, like $1 a piece, I probably would have got them. But $20 for all four just wouldn't made sense for me. So as you guys know, I'm starting to just add some more categories and trying to just get myself familiar with more things since I'm coming back to these thrift stores more often. And this is definitely a very expensive vintage bike. Not too familiar with the name. I think it's called Moto Bacane, but it said made in France. I just checked some comps on eBay really quickly, and I seen some people had them listed for like $900. So of course I'm not gonna get too excited and think I'll get $900 for this. It's clearly not in the best shape, has some rust, and one of the brakes wasn't working, but still definitely worth it for me to take it home, especially since it was only 40 bucks. I figured I'll clean this up and try to fix it up, fix up the brake, and just try to get that flipped. This was just an easy screw to take out, so I just had to take that screw out so I could fit it in my trunk. So now I'm in Goodwill here, and as you guys can see, huge price difference. Goodwill always charges a little more money in my area, but it is what it is. I still come across some good stuff. Here were some more vintage cameras. These were actually really old cameras. When it comes to these type of stuff, there's not to say there's no way for me to test it, but I just don't test these type of cameras. I just sell them as is. But after checking the comps on some of these, they were only selling for like 20 to 25 bucks, even if, they were working fine and in really good condition. So for almost $10 a piece, it just wasn't worth it to me. But some people always ask me, like, how do you know, like, how to price it? I basically just type in the brand of the camera, try to find the exact same one, and if there's any numbers on the camera, I try to type that in on eBay as well, and I usually get some some good comps. This is actually, I've sold one like this in the past, but I can tell there was a lot of stuff missing from that. As you guys can see, all the black strips look like somebody peeled something off, so I just put that one back. But definitely something to be on the lookout for. So like I said, we're in Goodwill, and this is when you know you're in Goodwill, because I just picked up a vintage bike, a vintage Swin for 35 bucks. Still have it in the house, just need to fix the brakes, and they have it here for $200. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just leave that there. So as you guys know, I just moved into a new house, so I'm still trying to get some like decor for the house and stuff like that, just kind of make the house a home. And this is like some mid-century modern home decor pieces, really dope in my opinion. No signature or no like name or anything like that, but I know similar stuff like this has like a really high price tag. So I'm definitely going to clean these up, and I'm probably going to keep those in the house. But if you guys find stuff like that with any type of signature or any type of name, definitely try to flip those, because people will spend big money for those type of things. So next up was something I never came across before. This is a brand I never seen. I think it's called Nakamichi. These were some really good speakers, but I'm not sure if it was vintage or what, but they were asking, $17.49 for one speaker, and these were selling on eBay for like 60 bucks. So if you guys come across this Nakamichi Soundspace 5 speaker, definitely grab those up, because you know you can make some good profit on it as long as it's not priced too high. Just this Goodwill had them just a little too much for me, so I had to put those back. So now we're going to do some retail arbitrage. Here I am in this Marshalls. Drop a comment if you guys have been finding anything good in Marshalls lately, because for me, Marshalls has been on fire. That's why I'm trying to go as often as possible. And there's a few in my area, so I just try to rotate those as much as possible. So these type of boxes, these New Balances, made in USA boxes. If you can see these in any Marshalls, that's usually a good sign. These ones in particular, they were asking $70 for these, so I definitely had to check the comps before pulling the trigger on any of these. But as you guys can see, they were really yellowed. So for $70, that was just a little too much money for me. And then they also had the older Made in USA box, and this one was in much better condition, not as yellowed, but just a really tough size 6 in that one for $70. So even though it's still a good shoe, just that price point was just way too high for me. So just still checking out some of the New Balances, because you really never know. I check the comps on every single pair of New Balances because I'm not too familiar. But this one was a pair of Fresh Foams, $35. If this was like a thrift store shoe, if I found this one used, I probably would have picked it up for like $5. But for $35, definitely not worth it. Speaking of definitely not worth it, I just picked those up. I picked these up from Ross like maybe 6 or 7 months ago. 3 pairs, still have all 3 pairs of those. So definitely don't waste your time and money on those, even if it's brand new in the box. Now, this is another shoe. I actually just picked up maybe 7 or 8 pairs of those, that same exact model. So they just added one more. So I'm just going to grab that one up just in case. But here was another really dope pair of New Balances. This is the X90 Racers. I've sold a few pairs of these in the past, but just not this pink colorway. But for $30, I was kind of intrigued at first. But then once I checked the comps on these, they were only selling for like $50. Some was even lower than that. So even though it's still a clean shoe, after doing the research, I just had to put it back. So this is another shoe I sold a ton of in the past. I sold a ton of Pro Fairs when they were new, and I would get them in the outlets. Nowadays, definitely not worth picking up. Even for $35, I had to put those back. But this is a shoe that I actually did come across and I left with. Here's a pair of Nike Boosts. If you guys follow the channel last year, well, not last year, 2 years at this point, I sold a ton of Nike Boosts. That was like my first big retail arbitrage score. Ever since then, anytime I come across them, I usually pick those up. So I'm definitely going to be grabbing that one up. It should sell for maybe $70. Nothing too crazy, just a quick double up. Now, we are in Burlington now, and I came across this pair of Red Wing boots. A couple other people told me they've been finding Red Wings in their, Burlington locations. And this one is more like I think you call this like a logger boot, or like an electric boot, like an electric hardware boot. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was just a tough size, so I had to put that back. Size 7 in men's was probably going to sit for a very long time. Next, came across this pair of ACG Mocs. I've been seeing these in Burlington pretty often, but for $50, just not worth it to me. And here's another pair of Red Wing boots. Anytime I see Red Wings, I usually always check them out because you never know. But in a size 5 for $70, just too much money for me. Alright, y'all, so we are back in the crib. So let me just show you guys this vintage bike that I picked up. This one is a Moto Bicane for $40, and it is a Jubil Sport. So the main reason why I wanted to even take a chance on this bike is simply because it said made in France, and I know some of these European bicycles have a lot more value to it. But overall, after I got home with this one, it was definitely in much better condition than I thought. One of the brakes was kind of a little loose, but as you guys can see, the brake is still working really well on this one. So that shouldn't be a problem. For the most part, I just think it needs some WD-40 for the chain since it's a little rusty, and that's a really, really quick fix. And the tires are flat, but the good thing is it comes with a pump here as well. So definitely going to be listing this on eBay, on Facebook Marketplace, on OfferUp. And since the comps on these were so some were listed really high, but some had sold for like $150 as well. So I'm gonna kind of price this on the more conservative side, probably anywhere between $250 and $300, and just wait until the right buyer comes along. But in the meantime, I probably will be taking this out on some test rides. Since the weather is bearable right now in Arizona, it's definitely not too hot, but I'm also thinking it's probably time to start investing in a truck, because the only reason why I was able to take this one home was because just being able to remove the screw on here, but made it really easy for me to take this and fit this in the car. But I might eventually invest in a truck or just something I could transport some of these bigger, bulkier items a little more smoother. So if you guys in AZ, you got a truck for sale, hit me up in the comments and let me know. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also just want to give everybody a huge shout out that's been supporting the consistency tees. Definitely appreciate the support. And of course, don't forget to use code consistency10 for 10% off your order. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.